So the really big story this week at the end of February in 2021 is that in their Stream On news announcement video event, Spotify announced that lossless streaming will be coming to their service in selected territories later this year. And Spotify will be calling this new lossless provision Spotify HiFi. Now, what does that mean in tech terms? Well, at the moment, the most we can get from a Spotify stream from its Ogg Vorbis lossy codec, that means it throws information away, is 320 kilobytes per second. But with a lossless stream, so no information is thrown away from the CD quality original, we could see anything from 700 kilobits per second to 1400 kilobits per second. Now, the emphasis from Spotify's point of view is very much on CD quality. They haven't said anything about high res. Now, people demanding or sort of thumping the table, insisting that Spotify should do high res, should be reminded that that is a classic case of the tail wagging the dog. Because on existing services like Tidal, HiFi and Qobuz, CD quality comprises 90%, over 90% of their libraries. High-res is less than 10% of Tidal, HiFi's library and Qobuz's library. So the meat and potatoes of those streaming services that are called high-res streaming services are actually 90% CD quality. So when Spotify enters the market with, say, 100% CD quality, it's not really going to be that much different to what we have now, apart from that 10% of high res. Some people have also been asking, will Spotify be integrated by Roon? Well, let's look at the numbers, because Spotify have almost 300 million subscribers worldwide. So that's roughly the size of the population of the USA. Now, Roon have roughly, as far as I know, 100,000 users. Now that's roughly the size of Miami Beach. So to think that Spotify would look at Miami Beach and go, yeah, we could really use those extra 100,000 users is pretty slim. And also, Spotify are very keen on keeping us inside their app and not giving away the user interface to a third party. Now I know that you can do this on Sonos, but that's the only place that you can interface with Spotify outside of their app. And that predates Spotify's market dominance in the music streaming world. Now, how much is this new lossless tier going to cost? Spotify haven't announced pricing yet, but I'll give you my best guess. And that is that they won't charge premium users anything extra at all. I think they'll just roll it into premium, and then in the options where you specify the audio quality in the app, there'll be just a new one automatically added that you can choose for lossless. Now, if you don't have an all singing, all dancing hi-fi system, you might be asking yourself, well, what is lossless audio going to do for me? If you're running a Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth headphones, it's unlikely to do very much because Bluetooth, as we know, is always lossy. Bluetooth cannot do CD quality. Neither can it do high res. Before we can realize the benefits of the move from 320 kilobits Ogg Vorbis to CD quality audio, we need better audio hardware. So there's probably not a lot of point in doing this unless you have better audio hardware. So that means even an entry-level audio system with a pair of speakers, an amp and a DAC. Most good ones will do the job. But don't take my word for it. Take Billie Eilish's.
High quality audio means just more info. There's just things you will not hear if you don't have a good sound system. It is really important just because we make music that wants to be heard the way that it was made.
Now that clip was taken from Spotify's Stream On event. It's an hour and a half video, no, an hour and 40 minutes, it's long. And it really shows us that this lossless CD quality announcement is just one part of a much bigger strategy that Spotify are about to engage in. And what's really interesting about that video is they don't talk about music, they talk about audio. And they don't talk about musicians, they talk about creators. So they want to be the number one audio platform for creators. I think what Spotify are going for here is to become the YouTube of audio. And it's quite likely that Spotify are just adding lossless audio as an option, as a thing, to remove a barrier to entry, not for people who care about listening sound quality, but for those creators that they want to attract to the platform. So they can say, we give our audience the best audio quality, so when you create something as a creator, your audience will hear every last detail. So let us not kid ourselves that Spotify suddenly care about audiophiles, because they really don't, because we're such a small minority. But I think it's terrific that Spotify will be adding the lossless option eventually to their service, because their app is great, their library is great, their payments, along with other streaming services, their payments out to rights holders is still up for debate. In fact, this week, I think Spotify and YouTube executives were giving evidence to the UK House of Commons as part of an inquiry into the streaming world and how musicians are faring. But what I really like about Spotify adding the lossless option to their library is that it opens up the conversation about better sound quality to far, far more people, 300 million people. So if only 10% move to lossless, that's still, what is that, 30 million? Yeah. And if it's only 5%, it's still 15 million people. That's enormous. So I think generally this is a good thing, but of those 15 million people that might make the leap to lossless, they need to make sure that they have the hardware in place first to realize the jump from lossy to lossless. Otherwise, they might come away thinking it's all bullshit, and it's not. So let us cautiously celebrate the proliferation of the better sound quality conversation, and also an increase in the list of options that people who care about sound quality have when it comes to their choice of streaming service. So yeah, that's my take on Spotify HiFi.